As of lately, I have been trying to share a lot more little shorts here and there to give people different ideas of things that they can do in case, for example, if they have to bug out. Well, consider an ATV. An ATV might be a good all-terrain vehicle to move from point A to point B. I have been sharing other boomsticks to give people ideas. Not everything is an AR-15. There are other choices. However, what I had noticed the most in those short videos is the division. Everybody has an idea, everybody is set in their ways, and there is no flexibility, to tell you the truth. Now, I would say that was 50% of the comments. The other 50% is what I like to call, those who take what I post and they make something out of it. Meaning they take the information, they apply it to their circumstances, and they move forward. And as they move forward with that information, that increases their chances of survival if something ever happens. Now, we all have to understand that preparedness dictates for being ready. And that is something that I always struggle with because I see a lot of folks who just don't want to be ready. And the idea of not being ready, to me, it makes no sense. But let me give you a couple of examples. Today, I was at the shooting range. I was sighting this boomstick. This is Mrs. D 3006. And I'm making sure that everything is good to go for a moose hunting that we have on the fall. But I want to get it done early on because as summer gets here, trust me, that shooting ranges get full of people. And it will be really hard for me to take a couple of hours and just sit, peace of mind, and just send rounds down range and just make sure that everything is how it's supposed to go. Now, as we pass through several locations before we got to that range, we saw a lot of businesses. And the businesses that I'm referring to are fast food businesses. And I saw them quite full, to tell the truth. And Mrs. D looked at me and I said, "You want me to stop so we can get something real quick?" And she's like, "There's no money for that." And I said, "Okay, no problem." And she looked at me again and she's like, "I just cannot believe that people are spending money with the way the economy is spending money, that much money, in a fast food." And I said, "Well, I just asked you whether or not you want me to stop." And she's like, "I know, but you asked because you have me and Lassing here and you just want to be polite. You have zero intentions of eating that food because you never do." And I said, "Well, yeah, that's for you guys. I'll eat home cooked meal. That's what I like." And she's like, No. She's like, "No, conditions are not okay for us to be spending money on that. That is unnecessary." And that made me think. And I was like, why people cannot be more like her? I mean, honestly, I see this all the time. Oh, let's just go out and eat. Prepare, what for? I mean, I have Mrs. D with me in the range. Laz was with me in the range. I was the one sighting the rifle. To be honest, I was the one doing this. But Mrs. D and Laz were picking up brass along the line so we can bring it back and do reloading. I don't know if you guys can see, but I have a whole bunch of brass in here ready to reload. And she was like, this is money. People refuse to do those type of things. People refuse to prepare. People refuse to be ready. And they believe that readiness is not necessary. Well, I gotta tell you, most gonna have to deal with the harsh reality that if they don't get ready, they won't survive. I said this before and I will reiterate this again. The SHTF that are living in Cuba, although it was bad, the SHTF that we're going to live in here is going to be a 1,000 times worse. And it is a very simple reason for that. In Cuba, they have no boomsticks. Here, there's a whole bunch. It will be bloody. People refuse to train. People refuse to put money aside so they can get the things that they really need. Guys, as I was in town, I passed by the movie theater, in front of the movie theater. This happened to be the other day. I was flabbergasted how many people were at the movie theater. And I was like, What is wrong? Entertainment? What the heck is going on in here? Use that time to go train. Use that time to polish your skills. They refuse to. People like congregating. They'd rather go out and have a drink than look at the plans in case something does happen. Listen, even if something doesn't happen, having that training, having that muscle memory will pay dividends. I guarantee you that. Because let me tell you this. If you practicing and you are really skilled with those tools, when you go hunting, it's muscle memory. Muscle memory, that's it. Your accuracy is going to be 1,000 times better than somebody who just grab it once a year and it's just like, bam, bam, I'm good. No, you put in the time. You are going to be rewarded for that time. I guarantee you that. When we got back, Les was talking to me, and he's like, Dad, so let's reload this right now. And I was explaining the steps. He deprimed the brass. And those are the things that people are not doing anymore. They're not passing on knowledge. Guys, I gotta tell you, every time that I see a building where people congregate for whatever reason, and they're using that time for whatever it is, that is not spending time with their family or training or doing something to prepare. Let me tell you something, that is a scary thing for me to see. Because I see them and I'm like, you have time now, and yet you refuse to use that time because you want to engage in something that is completely and 100% meaningless. Honestly, what do you gain by sitting in front of a TV and watching a fictitious movie? Something that is not even true. Because movies are not reality. And people do sometimes believe that, said it in the movie, that's it. That is it. Most people don't want to prepare nowadays. I am sorry to say this, but those who refuse to prepare most likely will not survive. I'm not saying that you will not survive because you have a disability. I'm not saying that you will not survive because you're overweight. I'm not saying you will not survive because you're old. I am saying you will not survive because you refuse to prepare. Because you lack that mindset and that thrive to live for a better tomorrow. That's what I'm saying. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Like I always, rock on, rip on, and I hope to see you on the next one. Bye-bye, everybody.